Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you haven't watched the previous video that I uploaded, this is the second part to that to those setups that I did for an event. This is setup number 2 that I am doing. I did 4 altogether, and the colors were white, chrome silver, and I had regular silver by Tuftex, which was my first time using that silver by Tuftex. And let me tell you, baby, that silver was so tough. It was so hard to tie them neck to neck. It was the balloon itself is just so, I don't even want to say, yeah, it's kind of like thick, it's tough. It was hard to maneuver around. It was a lot going on, but let's get started. Let's jump right into the video, so you guys can see how everything was done. So I have my frame. As you see, I have my sand weights in the back, just holding it down. I actually like putting them on definitely while I'm working because it helps with not having the frame move while I'm working. So I definitely like using them now, and I'm using clusters of 6 balloons. It's a mixture between 11 and 18-inch balloons, and these are by Sempertex, and the chrome silver is also by Sempertex. And I'm just twisting them around the frame. When you twist them around the frame, you definitely want to make sure that it's going around the frame and not just you twisting 2 balloons. This silver was so hard to get around the frame. I think I had a few pop, not a lot, but a few for sure pop on this part. And when I was tying it neck to neck, it was just so hard. It was not really a pleasant experience working with this color. I guess it's kind of like those metallic colors. They always a little bit more tough to work with. As you see, I had a balloon in there that was a little deflating. I could have ripped it off, but I just put it to the back and just kind of hide it or something. So but right now I'm just making the frame. This will be a full circle, so I'm just going around the total the whole frame and just twisting these balloons around and adding them on. And when you adding these clusters on that have the 18-inch end, you want to make sure the 18-inch is facing the front, especially if you're doing a full circle, because if they sticking out on the sides going inside the circle, then it will be hard to tie those next clusters on because it will be blocking kind of like that area where you need to pull the neck out to tie it on. So you definitely want to make sure they face in the front, so when you go and tie it on, that next cluster is not in the way and it's not making a huge gap in the middle of your design. And for the bottom, I'm tying these on neck to neck. As you see me pulling their neck, that white is really stretching there. And the one thing about those chromes, I love that they have the long necks. They make it so much easier to tie it on. And when it comes to the middle part, I will be using a 260 and tying it to the frame itself and then wrapping around the balloon so it can stay down. And some of these I use clusters of 4, and some of them quad of 4, and then some of them I use clusters of 6 in the middle. As you see now, I'm tying on that 260, and then I want to wrap it around the balloon so it can stay tight to the frame. And I'm adding on that last, I don't know if it's a cluster or if a quad. It looks like a quad of 4 balloons, if I'm not mistaken. And now I'm going to start filling in the middle. So we built out our body. So we're done with the body. We're on to step 2, which is thickening out the, your design, or filling in if you're doing a wall and then you doing the inside of the wall, whichever kind of design you're doing, you can still follow these steps. So now I'm just filling in the middle. We're thickening everything out and closing these gaps. And that's what we're doing. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment if you have some questions. I do respond to all comments. I hope to continue to respond to all comments, God willing. So please leave a comment if you have anything. I would love to share my thoughts or give you my perspective, anything. Surprisingly, during this whole day, my fingers wasn't hurting too bad. At the end of the day, I don't know if I did anything special or if I'm just used to it, but by the end of the day, I thought my fingers would be really hurting because I use tying the neck together for all these setups that I did. It was 4 total, and I thought, especially working with the silver, which was a piece of work, I thought my fingers would be like killing me by the end of the day, but it wasn't too much. So I was happy to grateful alhamdulillah, they wasn't hurting at the end of the day. I mean, my body was, but my fingers wasn't. And when you're tying these clusters on, you want to make sure you tie each cluster to the cluster next to it, as well as, tie it to the cluster. So right now I'm going in, I just made another circle inside. So I tied the cluster to the cluster right over top of it, and I also tied it to the cluster right next to it. So you should be tying it at 2 points. And we are almost done. And I used a way more white in the setup because I already knew that I had these silver mini garlands, the 5-inch mini garlands. I already had those in chrome silver, so I knew I'll be adding them on, so I didn't mind. Plus I was very limited on the chrome silver. This was a last minute event. The event planner actually reached out to me on a Wednesday, and it was for a Saturday setup. So I kind of did like next day shipping on the silver by Tuftex, but for the chrome silver, they didn't have that in stock for the place that I did the next day order from, so I only used what I already had. I had a lot of the 5 inches in the chrome silver, but I didn't have a lot of the 11 inches, so I had to use what I can for the setup. But the 5-inch silver, I knew I had a lot of those, and that's why I ended up making the mini garlands with them, and that's why I didn't use a lot of the chrome silver that I had left in the setup, because I knew I had the 5 inches to kind of play with afterwards. So things like that happens all the time, especially because it's a balloon shortage, and we have to and it kind of helps in a way because no setup will ever be the same. At the same time, you have to figure out how you want to use your balloons, because you may not have all colors and all sizes. So you may have to use a color that's only in 5 inches, and then you have to figure out. And I like the 5-inch mini garland. I like the mini garland look versus having like 5-inch clusters of 4 balloons just scattered around. I like it a little bit more cleaner, and I think the garland give it a little bit more cleaner look, because it's like a big bunch of them together, and it's a garland or like a cluster, a bigger cluster compared to like 11 inches together. So I personally like that look, and I am just going in, adding in the details. I will be adding in some floral as well. I don't think I recorded the floral part. And the floral I ended up getting from Joann's, it was a 70% off. It was like a couple weeks ago. AAA Balloons had put something on her story. She's on YouTube. But yeah, they were really cheap, and I was happy. And this is the final look, you guys. The happy birthday sign, the neon sign, was from the event planner. She left it there for me. So I used fishing line to hang that up. And this is how everything came out. Please leave a comment. What do you guys think? How do you like everything? If you have any questions. And the floral was definitely a nice touch. Alright guys, this is the end. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.